Yo, my people! Welcome to Comfy Cozy Naoatry. Today, we're gonna be doing a bit of a crochet and chat, but it's gonna be a bit of an uncomfy chat. And I know that's so ironic since it says Comfy Cozy Naoatry, but I was hoping that I could just come on here and talk about some maybe uncomfy things to help you and humankind in general have more comfy lives in the long run. And today's topic has to do with boundaries, people pleasing, and essentially just taking people for their word. I think the lights just flickered, y'all. Yeah, it was raining crazy just now. Whoa, that's scary. So if you're a crocheter, then go ahead and grab all your crochet stuff and get comfy for a little uncomfy chat. But if you're not a crocheter, that's fine too. Maybe you can relate or something. And also I'm hoping to show you the final product of what I'm working on. Or almost final product, because I don't think I'll finish everything because I don't have everything I need for it. So I've got some white yarn and some yellow yarn here, and it's burnout blanket. Well, burnout blanket and burnout baby blanket to be exact, because I'm actually working on my first custom order, and it's actually going to be the only custom order of its kind because I don't plan on doing any orders where it's like you just tell me whatever you want and then I do it. But I do hope to do custom orders where you can ask for something that I make regularly, but just in whatever like colors that you want it in specifically. But yeah, this one is special because it's for somebody special that just asked me for it. I didn't say I was doing custom orders, but she asked and I was like, of course, for you, anytime. So yeah, I'll pop up what I'm making for her here. So you can see it's a cute chubby duck with a sunflower. Meanwhile, I'm not even looking at the pattern, so let me do that because I think I know how it starts, but I might be wrong. Okay, there we go. I got it. So on to the topic at hand, y'all. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone or just been around someone and I don't know, you said something like, oh, like this is how I want to do this, or this is how I want to be treated, or whatever, and because of like, I don't know, their own circumstances or the situation or social expectations, like they kind of just totally ignored that and did whatever they thought was fine in the moment. If you don't know what I mean, let me give you an example that happened to me in my life that I think about sometimes that like irks me so much. So first of all, to lay the groundwork, I am an introvert, like majorly an introvert, and usually like when I meet people, that somehow always ends up coming up, and like I tend to know who in my life is like an introvert versus an extrovert. And so one time in college, I had to go to my friend's apartment to pick up something. Like it doesn't even matter what it is, but I had to pick something up and she wasn't there. So her roommate opened the door, and I actually was friends with her roommate and knew her roommate too. And so we just sat on the couch and we were just like, okay, like, you know, we'll wait for the person to come. She was essentially like, you can just wait here with me, but she was like in the middle of doing her homework, right? And so I tell her like, hey, like, you know, you do your homework, don't worry about me, I can do my own thing, because for me, I don't like small talk. And she also was an introvert. I forgot to mention that part. That's why I said the whole thing about knowing whether people are introverts or extroverts, and she also was an introvert. And so I was like, okay, like I think she'll understand if I say like, hey, like you know, we don't have to talk, you can do your own thing, whatever, I'll do my own thing. And so I said that for my comfort, because like I don't like small talk, I don't want to talk in this situation, I'd rather just sit and wait for my friend and not worry about it. But also for her sake, because it's like you clearly have homework to do and you know the night is getting on, like you can do your homework and I don't want to like be a bother or whatever. But then the whole time, like poor girl, like she kept making conversation with me, and I'm just like, you don't have to be doing this inside, you know, like just do your homework. And like you could tell she was struggling because she was like, like I'm doing my homework, but I'm also trying to talk to this girl, but I need to do my homework. But it's like, I told you, you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. Okay, I somehow missed something here because my stitch count is off.
A few minutes later.
I just did that whole round again in silence because I needed to make sure I got the count right. We're good now. But that's what I mean when I say that, is I literally was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. We don't have to talk. But then she still, I think because of like societal pressures and social standards, like felt the need to talk and entertain me. But it's like, you do not have to. I literally told you, do not worry about me, please. So yeah, let me know. Have you ever been in that situation? Because I think the world and humanity would be so much better off if everyone actually just like listened to each other and did as we all asked and respected our wishes. When I say it like that, that sounds so like obvious, but I feel like it's so uncommon, or like, I don't know, I feel like the more I live, the more I'm like, wow, people people really just don't do that. That example is like pretty harmless, but there's times where it can be very harmful, you know, and that's the whole boundaries thing. I mean, that is a boundary that I was setting to some degree, but sometimes it's like, okay, really in this situation, you can't treat me this way, but then the person does not care and they treat you that way anyway. And so I'm no like therapist, psychologist, or anything, but if you're someone that needs help in this area, like you're not good at setting boundaries and telling people like, this is what I expect from you or from this situation, and then seeing that through, while this is something I'm still working on, I know what helps is to have a consequence essentially. And the consequence sounds like a bit harsh, but the thing is like everything in life has consequences. You're just telling them the consequence of not doing as you asked them to do. So for some reason, the best example I can think of for this kind of situation is to do with like when you have a new baby or something. A lot of people don't want like everyone and their mother kissing their newborn child because that's how, you know, they can get sick. And so a lot of new moms have trouble setting the boundaries with family that don't want to listen to the boundaries. And so something you would do in that situation is you say like, okay, please don't kiss my baby, you know, and you explain like, you know, I don't want her to get sick or anything, and her immune system isn't so great right now, right? And then let's say they don't listen to that and they do it, right? And you see it or someone tells you or whatever, and then at that point in time you tell them, hey, like I told you you can't do that, next time we're gonna have to leave. End of story. Or you're gonna have to leave if they're visiting you, type of thing. And here's the catch when it comes to boundaries and setting the consequences and telling them is you have to follow through. And I hope I'm not like sounding condescending or anything in any way, but I know this is something that I needed to learn at some point in my life, and thankfully I did and have, and still a work in progress, of course, because I'm not perfect, but I just want this out there in case you haven't heard it from anywhere. You know, maybe you're somehow hearing it from me. But also, this goes beyond just like boundaries or like serious situations or whatever the case may be, because I think the people that probably struggle the most with this kind of thing are people pleasers, and I think I'm less of a people pleaser these days, but still very much so. In a lot of ways I catch myself like, oh, why am I doing this thing? Like it's only because like, I don't know, I want to please the people around me or in this situation, when it's like it's negative for me, even if it might benefit them, but it's like, you know, very detrimental to me. And so I don't know if I'm saying this all right, but I think it would also benefit people pleasers if people just took people at their word. Because I don't know if you're a people pleaser like I was or am, but I've had situations where, you know, I don't know, someone will ask me something like how I feel about something or what I would rather do or whatever the case is, right? Okay, let's be specific. Like let's say I'm with a group of people and everyone wants to share a bowl of ice cream, I don't know, and they're trying to figure out what flavor to do, and everyone votes for strawberry ice cream, let's say, and I don't like strawberry ice cream, and they come to me and ask like, oh, like, you know, are you good with having strawberry ice cream, with us sharing strawberry ice cream? And I might answer, yeah, that sounds good to me, like hoping that they see that I actually am not happy with that, but like not wanting to answer that directly because like, I don't know, I don't want to like hurt their feelings or like feel like I'm being annoying, like being the one that doesn't want what everyone else wants, but like I'm still hoping they see that I really don't like this and that they'll, you know, consider that and maybe say, oh, you know what, okay, you don't look like you want that, let's just have something else. And you know, and some people are that way where they will say like, okay, I can see you're not happy with it, we don't have to do that. And you know, that might be a relief to the people pleaser in that moment, but then there's situations where you do that and the other person takes you at their word, like I'm advocating for, and then you have to suffer for the strawberry ice cream that you don't like. And you can attach any situation to that, because obviously strawberry ice cream is whatever, assuming you're not like deathly allergic to it. And while it's nice to have the person who can actually read your body and your tone of voice and determine that you don't mean what you say, it's so much more beneficial to have the experience of the person who takes you at your word, because that teaches you to actually say what you mean and feel, or at least hopefully it does. And my point is essentially like, if everyone did that and just like took people at their word, then maybe people like me, we wouldn't suffer as a people pleaser as much, because it would essentially get beaten out of us over time. I don't know, it sounds terrible, but it's like, if you are a people pleaser or have ever been a people pleaser, then I think you understand like being a people pleaser is so bad for you, because then you don't advocate for yourself, like, ever. And the more you dig yourself into being a people pleaser, it can be really bad for your health, like for your mental health. It ain't good. And so I say all this for people pleasers and for the people on the other end who are doing... Does this make sense? I say this for the people who don't necessarily say what they mean, but I also say this for the people who are having to receive someone saying something. Like, take people at their word, essentially. So, like, not only say what you mean, but take other people at their word, too. And especially as adults, because as an adult, hopefully most of us have, you know, learned to actually say what we mean and advocate for ourselves, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, this is something that I've struggled with in relationships all around, honestly, every kind of relationship. People just not taking me at my word, or like not respecting boundaries, or whatever the case is. And it is so frustrating. It's the hardest thing, because that's like the basis of any relationship, is to be able to respect someone else's boundaries. Yeah, and I think I really wanted to do this video and talk about this, like, also just to help me and like drill this into my own head more too, is to not be a people pleaser as much anymore. And also that I need to respect myself and go into things expecting that people will take me at my word. Because going back to like that college situation, at that point in my life, like that was probably one of the first times that I said anything like that, you know, that I didn't also fall prey to the idea that like, oh, like I have to keep up a conversation even though like she's here needing to do her homework, and even though I don't want a conversation. I just wish she had taken me at my word in that situation, because it would have benefited both of us. And so the next time someone tells you like, hey, like, you know, we don't have to talk, or please don't speak to me that way, then I hope that you listen and take them at their word. And obviously if it's a situation that's like life or death or whatever, it may not be that simple. And, you know, obviously there's nuances, so keep that in mind, of course. I mean, I think that's all I really had to say on that topic. I hope I was clear and I hope this didn't like come off too preachy or anything. I don't know. I hope someone out there watching this understands what I'm talking about, maybe relates or got something from this anyway. But yeah, I still have quite a bit of this duck to make. You know what, let me show you what I've done so far. So can you see that? I think that's the bottom. Oh no, it is the top, because I remember it's the top. Just take my word for it. Still a bit to go, but hopefully I will be able to show you everything but the sunflower, because I don't have everything I need for that yet. So it's the next day and I finished the chubby duck, and my, is it chubby? Ah, look at it. I am so obsessed with this duck. It's not even funny, y'all. I will have the pattern linked down below. You can buy it on Etsy from Haru Crochet. Absolutely adorable. Don't have the sunflower yet, but I'm gonna do that eventually when I get all of the supplies. And I don't know if you saw how much white yarn I had, but this is literally all that's left of that skein. I used it all up. There was something else I was thinking about adding to the whole discussion of the video, the whole topic, but I can't remember. If I edit the video and I remember, I will like probably come back on here and add that in. But I hope that whatever crochet project you're working on, if you're working on one, I hope it turns out as good as mine did for you. And I hope that you can start meaning what you say, saying what you mean, and taking people at their word and respecting them and their boundaries as well. Because I think the world would be a lot of a better place if everyone did that. And all of our lives would be so much better too, I swear. Alrighty, I love you all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!